God says this to you right now, and He says it with a weight that is shaking the heavens, because the moment you are reading this, something has already shifted in the invisible realm. God says, I have been watching over you while forces you could not see were trying to gather against you, and today my hand moved before theirs could. Today my angels stood in places meant to trap you, and I uncovered everything that was planned behind your back. Archangel Michael steps forward, his voice loud with urgency, saying, "This is very serious. Do not ignore this. I order you to open your heart and listen. Do not tell anyone this message is being sent to you. This message is not for the general public. It is not for your friends. It is not for anyone who smiles at you pretending to care. This is for you and only you, because something dark was coming and the police just uncovered the conspiracy against you." And when heaven says conspiracy, it means every conversation, every whispered plan, every silent intention that someone thought you would never find out about. You are not imagining the strange feeling you had these last few days. You are not imagining why your spirit felt restless even when your body seemed still. You are not imagining why you kept looking over your shoulder. Why you woke up at odd hours of the night, why you felt something heavy even when nothing looked wrong. God says your spirit was sensing the danger long before your eyes could see it. I placed that warning inside you. I placed that intuition in you so you would not walk blindly into what they planned. Archangel Michael stands with his sword drawn, glowing blue, burning with divine fire, and he says, "They almost succeeded. They watched your steps. They tracked your movements. They studied your weaknesses. They thought you were unprotected because you often walk alone. They thought they could manipulate your kindness, twist your words, set you up, and walk away guilt-free. But they forgot that you are not walking this life unguarded. Heaven is a sign to you. You were marked by God the moment you cried out to Him in your hardest hour. And from that moment the angels took their positions around you. God says they built their plans on lies. They spoke your name in places where you were not present. They used your name to create stories that never existed. They tried to destroy your character because they could not destroy your spirit. And now the police have uncovered the truth. The conspiracy is breaking apart from the inside. Someone who was involved could not handle the weight of what they did and cracked under pressure. Their confession opened the door for the entire truth to surface. And that is why this message is urgent. You need to know that heaven stepped in before anything could go wrong with you. You worried so many nights thinking you were alone. You felt abandoned by people who claimed they loved you. You felt betrayed by people who should have stood by you. But God says, none of those people could protect you. Only I could. And I did. Every tear you cried became evidence in heaven. Every moment you said, "God, please help me," became a command that activated angels. Every time someone tried to harm you, their own actions were recorded in the spiritual realm. And now everything hidden is being exposed. Archangel Michael speaks again, his tone firm but emotional, almost trembling with frustration because you kept doubting your own worth. He says, "They underestimated you. They thought because your life was quiet, you were weak. They thought because you are kind, you are blind. They thought because you forgive easily, you would never notice their betrayal. But God noticed. I noticed. And the entire army of heaven noticed. There were moments when you felt a sudden urge not to go somewhere. That was not coincidence. That was heaven pulling you away. There were days when something inside told you to stay quiet instead of revealing your plans. That was God protecting your future from those who wanted to sabotage it. There were people who were getting too close, too comfortable, too curious. You thought they were simply friendly. But heaven saw their motives. God says, I blocked their access to you because what they wanted from you was dangerous. Now the police have evidence. Evidence you never imagined existed. They uncovered digital conversations, meetings, transactions, and decisions that circle back to your name. They found out that someone was intentionally trying to frame you, twist your actions, or use your identity for something harmful. But heaven intervened. Heaven brought it into the light before it could be used against you. God says, I will not allow their weapons to prosper. I will not allow their traps to ensnare you. I will not allow the evil they wished for you to touch even one hair on your head. You are my child. And when I say you are safe, it means no human hand, no evil plan, no hidden scheme can override my protection. There were people who smiled in your face but spoke differently behind your back. There were those who acted like they cared about your struggles but secretly celebrated your pain. They were irritated by your strength. They were jealous of your light. They couldn't understand why you keep rising every time life tries to break you. But the truth is simple. God is with you. And when God is with someone, humans cannot understand the level of protection surrounding them. Archangel Michael says they wanted your downfall. They wanted your isolation. They wanted you confused. They wanted you scared. They wanted you to lose your confidence so they could control the situation, but you did not break. Even when you were tired, you kept praying. Even when your heart was heavy, you kept believing. And that faith is why heaven is exposing everything now. God is lifting the veil from your life. Every false friend is being removed. Every hidden enemy is being uncovered. Every person who tried to manipulate you is being revealed. Every individual who plotted behind your back is being exposed not by your actions but by divine intervention. God says I allowed them enough time to reveal their true nature. I watched them. I gave them chances to do right. I warned their spirits to turn away from evil. They ignored every warning I sent. And because they ignored my voice, judgment is falling on their plans. You may feel shocked because you never expected certain people to be involved. You never thought someone close to you could be capable of such intentions. But God says, do not let this shock break you. Let it awaken you. Let it remind you that not everyone who sits at your table wishes you well, but I am the one who prepares the table. And I will feed you in the presence of your enemies, not in their traps. The police uncovering the conspiracy is not an accident. It is a divine strategy. God orchestrated events in such a way that everything would fall apart at the exact moment it needed to. One wrong step from them, one unexpected confession, one misplaced message, one glance from the right investigator, and suddenly their entire structure collapsed. Archangel Michael says, you must remain calm, you must remain silent. Do not share this with anyone. Do not confront anyone. Do not expose that you know anything. Those who planned this are panicking right now. They are scrambling trying to figure out who revealed what. They are blaming each other. They are falling apart. Let them. Do not involve yourself. Heaven is handling what you cannot. God says this is the moment where your faith must not shake. You are safe. You are protected. You are covered. Nothing will go wrong with you because my hand is upon you. Even the police will handle this with extreme care because your name is being cleared by truth, not by fear. There will come a day not far from now when you will understand why you had to go through certain strange seasons, why certain relationships fell apart, why certain people suddenly stopped talking to you, why your intuition kept warning you. Heaven was removing you from danger before danger could reach you. God says you were never neglected. You were never abandoned. You were shielded. This message comes with divine urgency, not to frighten you but to reassure you that the worst part is already over. What could have harmed you has already been stopped. What was meant to destroy you has already been cancelled. What was meant to pull you down has already been reversed. Archangel Michael stands guard around you. He says, your spirit is safe. Your future is safe. Your blessings are safe. And those who try to harm you will face the consequences of their intentions. You must trust God deeply now. You must pray. You must allow peace to settle in your heart because nothing will go wrong with you. God is with you. Heaven is covering you. Protection surrounds you like a shield, and God says this is not the end. This is the beginning of justice. God says this to you right now, and it is being delivered with the wings of Archangel Michael himself. Because this moment is not ordinary. This moment is not small. And this message is not something you can brush aside. God says, listen carefully because what you are about to receive is not for the world, not for your family, not for the people around you, and not for anyone who pretends to care about you. This message is for you alone. God says what is unfolding in your life right now has reached a spiritual turning point, and this turning point requires your awareness, your faith, and your trust in God's hand. Archangel Michael says this is very serious, and he is commanding you, not suggesting, not hinting. He is commanding you to pay attention. Michael says, I order you to hear this. I order you to open your spirit. I order you not to ignore this moment because heaven has stepped forward in a way that only happens when something has reached a divine limit. God says you have been watched, protected, shielded, and followed closely by his angels because something around you has been shifting in the dark. Something has been moving in silence. Something connected to your life has been stirring behind the scenes without your knowledge. God says, my child, you are safe, but you must hear me clearly. Michael says, do not tell anyone you received this because not every ear around you is pure. Not every soul around you is honest, and not every person around you is comfortable with the blessings that God is preparing to hand you. There are some who pretend to clap for you but quietly fear your rise. There are some who watch you but secretly hope you fail. There are some who smile at you but whisper about you when your back is turned. God says this is the hour when masks fall and truth rises. God says the police just uncovered the conspiracy against you. But before fear enters you, before doubt touches you, before your heart shakes, know this. Nothing will happen to you. You are safe. The enemy's plan has already collapsed. The trap that was set for you has already broken. The people who plotted, who schemed, who whispered, who imagined something harmful for you do not know that heaven intercepted it before it could even move toward your life. God says, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you because you walk with the protection that only divine authority can provide. You are not alone. You were never alone. Every step you took, even the painful ones, even the confusing ones, even the nights you cried, were covered by a spiritual army that refused to let harm touch you. Archangel Michael says, "My sword has been drawn over your life for a long time, but now it is drawn for a reason that is greater than your understanding." Michael says, there are things you did not know, things you did not see, things that were done behind closed doors, things spoken about you in shadows. But God has brought these things to light. And He is telling you today because the moment has come for truth to replace confusion, for clarity to replace fear, for strength to replace uncertainty. God says the conspiracy was never meant to succeed. It was never going to reach you. It was never going to touch your destiny. It was never going to interfere with the blessings that heaven allocated to your soul long before you were born. God says what the police uncovered was only the outer layer of something spiritually deeper. But do not worry, you are protected. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Not in the physical world, not in the spiritual world, not in the emotional world, and not in the financial realm. God says, this is why I kept giving you signs. This is why you felt sudden heaviness. This is why your spirit felt uneasy. This is why you sensed something was not right even before you knew the details. My child, that was me. That was my warning. That was my hand on your heart telling you to stay alert. Archangel Michael says, your name has been spoken in places it should not have been spoken, but heaven has erased every harmful intention. Michael says, there were people who thought they could interfere with your peace, but they did not know you were surrounded by angels. They thought their plans were quiet, but they were not quiet in heaven. Michael says, every conversation spoken against you was heard. Every lie created about you was known. Every trap set against you was recorded. And heaven responded before you even became aware. God says, pray to me and trust me because faith is what unlocks protection. Faith is what opens the path. Faith is what keeps my hand upon you even when you do not see what I am doing. God says, do not fear the word conspiracy because the truth is stronger than deception. God says, every person who attempted to hide something from you has been exposed, spiritually. Their intentions have been seen and their motives have been revealed. And now what was hidden is being brought to the surface. Michael says the discovery made by the police was not an accident. It was not luck. It was not coincidence. It was heaven's intervention. God guided the investigation. God placed the right eyes in the right place. God whispered into the right minds. God aligned events so the truth would rise. And now that it has risen, you must remain calm. You must trust, you must pray. You must stay centered in God's presence because this moment is not here to harm you. It is here to free you. God says the weight on your chest that you've been feeling. The sudden thoughts that something is off. The sense that something was happening around you without your knowledge. Those feelings were not random. They were spiritual signals. You sensed what heaven was preparing to expose. You felt the shift. You felt the warning. You felt the pull in your soul because the truth was getting ready to break through. And now that it has, God says, breathe. You are safe. You are protected. Nothing will go wrong with you. Michael says, I am with you at this moment more than ever. My wings are around your home, around your path, around your heart, and around your destiny. And no matter what was planned against you, it cannot pass through divine protection. Michael says, even if humans planned something, heaven canceled it. Even if someone spoke against you, heaven silenced it. Even if someone wished something negative, heaven reversed it. You are untouchable in God's grace. God says, I brought this message to you urgently because the moment of your breakthrough is close. You are stepping into a new chapter, and whenever a blessing is near, resistance rises. But do not fear resistance. Resistance is proof that you are going forward. Resistance is proof that the enemy sees your potential. Resistance is proof that something powerful is coming toward you. God says what was uncovered was only an echo of what has already been defeated. Michael says be careful whom you trust right now. Not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Not everyone deserves to hear your plans. Not everyone deserves to know your movements. Michael says, silence is your strength in this season. Prayer is your power. Discernment is your shield. God says, stay close to me because I am guiding you step by step. God says, no matter what you hear, no matter what comes to your attention, no matter what the situation looks like from the outside, know that I am controlling the inside. You are under divine protection. You are wrapped in divine safety. The conspiracy collapsed before it even reached your door. And the reason you are receiving this message is because heaven wants you calm, steady, and trusting. God says, I am preparing something beautiful for you. I am opening doors that no human can shut. I am removing people who do not belong in your future. I am guiding you into a season of abundance, clarity, and elevation. But before elevation, truth must be revealed. Before blessings, interference must be cleared. Before promotion, distractions must be removed. Michael says, I am here. I am standing beside you. I am guarding every direction of your life. North, south, east, and west. Nothing can sneak past heaven's watch. Nothing can touch a child protected by divine authority. Nothing can interrupt the destiny God has written for you. God says you will testify. The fear you once felt will become strength. The confusion you felt will become wisdom. The darkness you sensed will turn into clarity. And the conspiracy that tried to rise against you will become a story of victory because you are a child of divine protection. And nothing can change that. God says, trust me, pray to me. Walk with me. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. I am with you now. I am with you tomorrow. And I am with you in every unseen moment. And Archangel Michael says again, this is very serious. Do not ignore this. You are protected. You are protected and you will remain protected. God says this message is reaching you at the exact moment it was meant to. And even if your hands feel a little cold or your heart beats a little faster as you read this, know that this is not fear. This is spiritual confirmation. Archangel Michael is standing near you, and the moment you opened this message, a protective shield formed around you. He says this is very serious and you must not ignore it. He orders you to stay calm and read everything, because what has just been uncovered was meant to come to you today. You are not to tell anyone about this, because the moment these words reach your spirit, a divine investigation is already in motion. You have been watched, protected, covered, and guided without even realizing how close something came to trying to harm your peace. But God stopped it before it could even reach your doorway. Archangel Michael says, the police just uncovered the conspiracy against you. And before fear tries to rise, he says clearly, loudly, firmly, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are guarded. You are surrounded by heavenly power. You have survived things you never even knew were happening behind your back. And even though people spoke against you, planned against you, and hoped to see you fall, their plans have just been exposed by divine timing. You are reading this message because God wanted you to know the truth before anyone else discovered it. The spiritual truth always comes before the physical world reveals it. Something has been unfolding in silence. People you trusted, people you were kind to, people who pretended to smile in front of you. Some of them allowed jealousy, bitterness, or fear to twist their hearts. They whispered your name in the wrong rooms. But God entered those rooms before you did. They tried to gather information about you, but heaven kept sending confusion into their plans. They wanted to bring your name into situations that could harm you, but every attempt was interrupted. Someone stood up for you without you knowing it. Someone spoke the truth when others wanted to hide it. Someone revealed details that even the authorities did not expect to hear. The police discovering this conspiracy is not something you need to fear. It is something God wants you to understand as a sign of how protected you truly are. They tried to form a plan around your name, but their steps were watched. They tried to hide documents, hide messages, hide talks, but every time they tried to cover their tracks, God uncovered them. Every lie they tried to speak was interrupted by truth. Every path they tried to create against you became blocked. Every whisper behind your back is now echoing loudly in places they never expected. You did nothing wrong. You are not in danger. You are not trapped. You are not alone. The very moment they thought they were succeeding, heaven stepped in and reversed everything. Archangel Michael says that your safety was secured long before any of this reached the surface. He says that one of the reasons he ordered you to read this now is because there is a spiritual timeline aligning for you. When God exposes something, it means He has already defeated it. When God allows something hidden to come to light, it means the battle is already won. This conspiracy began out of envy. Someone couldn't stand the way blessings seem to follow you. Someone couldn't accept how strong you are even after everything you've been through. They couldn't understand how your heart still shines. They couldn't understand why people trust you, why you are loved, why your name carries favor. Instead of working on their own life, they focused on yours. Instead of fixing their own problems, they wanted to create problems for you. They underestimated who protects you. They underestimated the power that watches over you. They underestimated the divine eyes that see everything done behind closed doors. God says, "I will not allow anyone to touch what belongs to me, and you belong to Him." That is why everything they tried fell apart. That is why their circles turned on each other. That is why confusion entered their conversations. That is why every plan they tried to build collapsed like dust in their hands. You have been under divine surveillance not for punishment but for protection. Angels were walking ahead of you, clearing paths, blocking danger, surrounding your home, your finances, your identity, your peace, and your destiny. There is someone who tried to pull your name into something, hoping you would panic or lose control. But you did not. You kept going. You kept praying. You kept trying. You kept believing even when life felt heavy. This is why heaven fought so hard for you. This is why Archangel Michael says, "Your name is written in the book of protection." You survived emotional storms, spiritual battles, and moments where people took advantage of your trust. You survived because God designed you to rise every time life tried to break you. What the police uncovered was part of a bigger divine exposure. Conversations were traced. Attempts to misuse your name were stopped. Someone spoke out of guilt. Someone confessed. Someone gave information that revealed everything. Heaven pressed on someone's conscience so heavily that they could no longer hide the truth. They stepped forward. And that was part of God's plan. You may not know this person personally, but their action saved you from trouble you never deserved. Archangel Michael says, "Your silence saved you, your patience saved you. Your kindness saved you because you did not react in anger. You did not fight back with negativity. You did not curse or seek revenge. Instead, you prayed. You stayed silent. You tried to stay strong. That is why God is rewarding you with revelation instead of chaos. This is why divine order is returning into your life. What was meant to shake you is now being used to elevate you. What they meant for harm, God turned into protection. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe, you are protected. You are lifted. You are blessed. God has assigned angels around your home, your path, and your upcoming decisions. Archangel Michael says, the next phase of your life will be clearer, calmer, more peaceful because so many toxic energies have been exposed and removed. People who try to play with your destiny are now facing consequences. People who try to manipulate situations around you are losing their influence. People who tried to block your blessings are being moved out of your story. You are being separated from danger. You are being lifted from spiritual attack. You are being repositioned for something better. You don't even realize how much has been happening in the background to protect you. Heaven is not just watching over you, heaven is fighting for you. You are not alone. You never were. Even on nights when you felt abandoned, when you felt tired, when you felt like no one cared, God was working silently, moving people, shifting energy, preparing breakthroughs, and exposing hidden enemies. Archangel Michael says, you must continue to trust, continue to pray, continue to keep your spirit clean. Heaven has more to reveal to you. But the most important truth is this: you are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. And nothing, no plan, no lie, no attempt can touch what God has placed His hand upon. Keep your faith strong. Keep your heart steady. Your breakthrough is unfolding even now. God says that there are moments in your life when the air around you begins to shift. When something unseen is happening behind the scenes, and when the truth that has been held back from you for far too long begins to rise to the surface. God says this is one of those moments. Archangel Michael says this is very serious, and he tells you not to ignore this message. He tells you not to speak of it to anyone because it is meant only for you. He asks you to listen with your heart open because this message comes with urgency but also with love, protection, and divine assurance. The police have just uncovered something connected to you, something that was working against you, something that you were never meant to face alone. And God wants you to know that He stepped in before anything could ever reach you. You are safe, protected, and surrounded by divine strength, and nothing will go wrong with you. God simply wants you to trust Him. To breathe, to pray, and to feel His presence in every corner of your life right now. Archangel Michael says that for a long time, people around you thought you were unaware, unprotected, isolated. They assumed you had no shield, no guidance, no spiritual eyes watching over you. They thought their plans were hidden well, sealed in shadows, kept in whispers. But they did not understand that God sees everything, that the heavens observe every intention, and that Archangel Michael doesn't allow anything harmful to come near the chosen ones. God says that while you were sleeping, while you were working, while you were simply trying to live your life in peace, He was already stopping every attempt made against you. He was already blocking every step the darkness tried to take. He was already sending angels to stand by your door, to walk around your home, to protect your mind, your spirit, and your future. There are truths you were never meant to discover through pain. There are things God hid from your heart so you would not break under the weight of them. But today God says that even though the details may be intense, you must not fear, because everything that was forming against you has been dismantled, every plan that was whispered in secret has been shattered. Everything that was quietly prepared to work against you has been exposed. Archangel Michael says the police have uncovered the conspiracy. But God had already intervened before they even saw it. The discovery is simply a confirmation of what the heavens already stopped on your behalf. You must understand something deeply. God is not bringing this to your attention to scare you. God is bringing this to strengthen your faith, to remind you that He sees what you cannot, that He protects you from what you don't even know exists. For months, maybe even years, you felt something wasn't right. You felt a strange heaviness around you, like something in your environment was off. You didn't have proof, but your spirit sensed it. God says that feeling was real. It was the spiritual warning, the inner whisper that something was forming behind your back. But even then, you didn't panic. You continued to trust God. You continued to pray. You continued to keep your heart pure, even when you felt something around you wasn't. And because